In this video, I'm going to show you how to build your own ESP32 prototyping box or the project box. This video will be useful for the students of engineering or the electronic hobbyist. So assume that you're working on a project, you got a nice idea and you're using ESP32 project board. So all this time you've been using the breadboard, you've been using the wires, jumpers, and eventually you got the circuit board working. Now it's the time to put your circuit board in the project box. This could be, say for example, you're submitting your project work to your course teacher, or you build a fantastic idea and you want to sell that, you want to put that all in a nice looking box. So what I'll be doing in this video is I'll be showing you a series of photographs and I'll be explaining what each photograph is all about. So all the components that are used in this video series, you can buy them from eBay, Amazon, or various websites. You just have to go and search with the proper name. So the total cost of building a box like this will be around less than 12 pounds, and it will take a couple of hours to build this box. So in order to build this box, you must have some basic soldering skills. You don't have to be an expert, you just have to know how to solder at least the connectors. So it's good if you've got some drilling tools, because you're going to make holes to fix the LEDs, or if you want to fix your antennas. In the worst scenario, if you don't have any drilling box, you can use a candle and any sharp tools like a screwdriver, so anything like a needle, etc. If you follow my instructions in this video, you can build a project box that looks like this. So this is the box I have built for one of my project. So inside the box I got ESP32 board, and you can see I've got the connector for antenna and also got a connector for the USB cable. So this cable you can use to connect this to the PC, and you can program the ESP32 board, or once you have finished your programming, you can connect this to a USB power pack and power the board. And this is how the other end of the box looks like. You can see here. So this is the hole here. So this hole is where I've connected the USB cable to ESP32 board. Now this is what inside the box. So I've also connected few additional components here, and this is how you can see how you can put all the components along with the ESP32 board inside this box. So there are two types of box you can use. It all depends on how many external components you got. Most often, if you're using ESP32, most of your work will be done through internet or a Wi-Fi or a Bluetooth. So these two boxes are readily available on internet. So this box has a size of 100 centimeter by 60 by 25. The height is 25. Sorry, it's not centimeter, it's millimeter. It's 100 mm length, 60 mm width, and 25 mm height. And this one is 100 mm. Again, it's the same length, 100 mm, 65. This is 5 mm wider than this, and 35 mm tall. This is 10 mm taller than that. You can use either of this board, but you're going to see finally that this box is the one you'll end up using because of the constraints in this box. So I've been playing with these two types of ESP32 boards. Both the boards have got 19 pins in a row, and you can buy this either of this from internet. And this one has got an external antenna connector, whereas this doesn't have external antenna. So most of my project have been using this ESP32 board with external antenna. Now this is the antenna you can buy. Most often when you buy the ESP32 external antenna, you'll end up getting this antenna also. So this is how it looks like when you connect this antenna to the board. So this is the PCB I have been using in all my projects. In fact, these are very high quality PCBs. So this could be a little bit expensive, but the quality wise they are the best. And there are so many advantages of using this type of boards. First of all, this is a half size PCB board, and you can also see the brand here. Probably you can look for this brand on internet. So the good thing about this board is, besides this is like a breadboard. On the other end, they're all connected together. You can see here. This is you can think this as the back side of the board, and this is the front side. So this is similar to the breadboard. And here on the left and right hand side, you've got connectors for the ground and connectors, the connectors for the VCC. These are all connected together like a breadboard. And you can see that the VCC from left side you can transfer to the right side by using a small jumper here. So if you short these two pins, the same VCC is available on either side. Likewise for the ground or earth wire, so you can, if you short these two pins or use a jumper, so when you connect this, so you'll have a common ground. Most often you'll have a short here because you want the ground to be the same. And in some of my design I have used one side of the VCC provides a 3.3 volts, the other side provides the 5 volts. Now this is the dimension of the board. Now if you remember, all our boards are 100 mm long and 65 mm wide. So this board, the length of this board is 88.9. Take this as a 90 mm. So you still have got 1 centimeter extra space. And also the width you don't get enough more space there, because the total width is 52 mm. So you might end up having maybe half a centimeter on the left and right side gap. And also these are the holes here. You can use these holes to fix this board to the box. And you can see here, this is of size M3 and this is of size M2. I have seen fixing in the M2 screws, you'll be struggling. So I think if you're designing, probably it's better you stick with the M3, easy for you to fix. So first thing you have to do is you need to buy the female headers. Again, you can find this in plenty in eBay and Amazon. They're very cheaper to buy. So these are the female headers. So what I've done is you have to make a strip of 19 pins. I've got 2 strips here. You first have to insert your ESP32 board to this vertical headers. So look at that. This is how it looks like, and this is again a different view of the same board with the vertical headers. Then you have to solder this board. So when you solder the board, you have to make sure you do have this ESP32 sitting on this connector, so that it keeps the header straight while soldering. Now one problem with ESP32 is these are not breadboard friendly. You might have already noticed when you start building circuit with ESP32. So what I mean by saying breadboard friendly is, look at here, when I place this ESP32, you will end up getting only one extra rows for your connections on left hand side, because the right hand side has fixed it exactly placed on the row A. So this is the column A, and that's the reason why many people say ESP32 boards are not breadboard friendly. you might have used two half-size boards side by side to place the ESP32. So I'm going to show you in my later part of video how to make this a kind of breadboard friendly. So there's one drawback with the ESP32 and using these type of boards. But however, this is not a showstopper. There is a workaround for that. I'll be showing you soon. So once you have that, so you can, so these are these are the vertical male pins, male headers. You can see here. These are the vertical one. This is a 90-degree bent pins. What I've done here is the vertical one I've placed in this empty slot. I've soldered here, and the right angle one, it is inside this the female vertical header. So the reason I'm doing this is because, as I mentioned before, so this is not breadboard friendly. So there's no row after this to place one more row of the vertical header pin. So you can solder this. This works for me. Then by doing that, if you want to make any connections for the pins on this side, you'll end up having wiring like this way. These are a standard wires you can buy from internet. This is a female to female wire. You can buy them with the 10 centimeter or 20 centimeter in length. As you can see here, I got in a female to female here, and on this side again you can use a female to female. So you need a female to female in this scenario. So this is how it looks like once you place ESP32 on these vertical headers. So you can also place a female header here instead of a male one. So this is how it looks like. Then you'll end up having a male to female or a male to male connecting wire. But there is a drawback with this one. So the drawback is you're going to have a taller box. So because of the extra length of this connector, you cannot fit this inside the two boxes I showed you. So the best option is to have a male vertical header. So this is the second method. So that's the first method you saw. In the second method is what I've done is I have to press the headers inside. So what I've done is, so just before you solder, you have to press these female headers. You have to press it bit inside towards yourself this way. So by doing that, you will get one empty row here and one empty row here as well. So you'll end up having two columns or two lines of holes for the external connection. As you can see here, okay, when I soldered, this is at an angle, little bit of an angle, so something like this way. So this is also at an angle. So it looks a bit weird, but it worked for me. It should work for you. And keep in mind, this is your prototyping box. This is your project box. So once if this works for you, then you can spend more time by going with a different type of boards, which probably I'll make a next video on that. So the only drawback in this way of soldering is you will end up pressing this bit outside, so that you'll have one empty slot here and other empty lines here. So you have two empty holes on either side of this board. Now after that, you're going to solder the male vertical pins on either side. So this is where you end up making the connections. And again, if you see in this photo, even when you solder, make sure, okay, you place this at a angle, little bit an angle here, this as well as that. So if you don't do that, you might struggle inserting those connecting wires. So while soldering, you just have to press towards, away from the board, like this way. So as I mentioned before, this is the one with the height 25 mm. This is the one with the height 35 mm. So I would go with the 35 mm. You can find plenty of boards with 25 mm. They're cheaper to buy as well, but you have to know the problem with that. Now, if you use a 25 mm board, and if you, after you make a connection to this vertical pins, you can see that in this connector, it's just at the height of this board. You cannot, you'll be struggling to close, okay, to close the top, or you'll end up, breaking this connection. So the best option is, even though this board, the 35 mm height box, it costs you a little bit more, but it is, it has got enough space for you to place additional components everywhere. So once you do that, I showed you in my earlier slides, I showed you the dimensions, of these holes. You just have to make sure, okay, you draw these dimensions before you make the hole, or you can place that board, on the box and mark with your marker pen. So I made a holes here, and these holes are made using the solder iron. So if you don't have the drill bits, you can use a hot solder, because these are plastics. You can just need something hot to make the holes. Likewise, I can make a hole here, and this side you can use it to connect to the USB. You can make a hole here, this for antenna. You can make one hole here so that you can pull out some additional wiring to connect. If you got a sensor outside the box, you can use this hole on this side, on this wall, to make the connections. So this is how the box looks like, and you can see here this hole is from a USB connector. I made one extra hole on the top so that I can use this for LED, and this is the hole on the side. This hole I have used for the antenna, and this hole, so this hole is not for USB, this is for USB. This one is additional, it depends on how you want. You can either use this or that, okay, but this hole is smaller than this. This hole I made so that you can use this hole to pass through any connecting wires from inside to the outside of the box. And here, this hole, you can connect this to the USB. Now once you do that, you have to place this box here, you can see here, and have used the M3 nylon screws. You can fix here at the center, and this is what you see from outside. You can see the M3 screws here, nylon, and I also have the holes here for M2. And as I mentioned before, it's a bit difficult to use this M2 holes, when you because the reason here is, you have got connectors here. You'll be struggling to put the fingers there. And again, as I mentioned before, if you don't have the soldering tools, the drilling tools, you can use the hot iron solder, or you can use a nail, make it hot with a candle or your gas cooker, and you can just pierce through and make the hole here. That's what I've done here. You can see these holes. Now that's all. Probably if you follow all my instructions, you will end up making your own box. It's not difficult, it's really simple. So once you get hang of doing one box, you can use these skills or knowledge to make any box. I do have a few extra boxes. If you go to eBay and search ESP32 project box, you might, if it's still available, you might see them on the listing, and you can just buy them if you like. Thanks for watching this.